My name is Rodney Fleming. I don't know if you know me, but I'm the council person for this area. And this issue came up, well, I've always known about this issue since we've lived here, and Leslie and I have lived here for about 10 years, I think maybe a little over 10 years. And this intersection has always been just one that has lots of accidents. Everybody that lives out here knows how many accidents. There's one a week at least, little ones, and the big ones are the ones that are scary. So when I got elected to this position and I started talking to them, and the nice engineers at TxDot met with me, and they worked on a couple of ideas that they can do at this time. Now, a couple of things that I want to talk about for them is that there are some things that we would love to do, but we can't do yet. And one of them would be an overpass. Everybody says, well, just put in an overpass. Well, we can't do an overpass because TxDot doesn't have the money to do that and move forward. So what we want to do in this situation is we want to take small steps forward to making it better. So anything that we can do, in my opinion, anything that they can do will make the situation better than what it is now. So if we take small steps and we just keep trying to move forward and get to the big steps, which would be either an overpass or the red light and things like that. He's going to talk about that here in a minute, but I'm going to let him take over on this.
All right, well, thank you, Rodney. My name is Tracy Kane, and I'm the district engineer for TxDot for the San Angelo district, which is Tom Green County and then 14 other counties around us. So Rodney said that he approached us a couple of months ago, he and his wife, and wanted to bring up the concerns about this intersection. And I've been here 3.5 years or so, and I've heard about this intersection a lot. I started looking at it, and if it was easy to fix, somebody would have fixed it a long time ago. So as we started looking at it, there wasn't an easy way to do a comprehensive, inexpensive fix immediately. But because of the concern from citizens, and it wasn't just the councilman that has brought it up to me, we really wanted to try to find something to do to improve the safety of that intersection. So before we get too much deeper, I wanted to at least talk about where we are talking about. And let's see. So right here is the intersection we're talking about, where Grand Canal comes out and ties into 277. And so we're at the church right here. Frontage Road comes down, ties in to an intersection that's really close to the I-20 or the 277 frontage road. And the challenge seems to be, first of all, the speed of the traffic going by, and then when you're in this location or this location trying to get across there, we've seen an incident of crashes, probably higher than a typical intersection that we'd expect on this type of facility like that. So this is zooming in a little bit better. We've changed north. Right here's what we're talking about. And so when we started talking about solutions, Rodney mentioned, the big one would be just tear all this out and build it over again. There's some connections that just are not available on this design of interchange. If you're coming from Wall and want to go towards Cristobal, you actually have to do a pretty complicated maneuver in order to get there. And I know you guys live here, so you understand what I'm talking about. Ideally, I'd love to have a direct connection, which would involve a big interchange with bridges and ramps, and the price tag is multi-million dollars. We haven't done a comprehensive estimate, but $30 or $40 million to do that. A lot of money that we don't have to address that right now. So that would have been great. Couldn't afford to do that. So we started looking at some other stuff, other possibilities. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. So this is just a blow up again of the existing situation. So you know that in order to go from Wall, so US 87, and if you're going to go on 277 towards Cristobal, you have to exit, you come across here, you get on this frontage road, come all the way up to the intersection here, stop here. Whenever you're clear, you get out there, you go to another stop sign right there, and then you make your maneuver whichever way you're going to go. That's the existing situation, so go ahead and click to the next. We've come up with a proposal that we might be able to do, and again, as Rodney said, we're talking about solutions, so I want your input on this. If we were to add a ramp back here, which would take that traffic that we're talking about, anything that's on this frontage road, and take it up and merge it onto 277 prior to getting to the intersection, that simplifies this intersection quite a bit. In order to do that and to make it safer, you really have to take out that connection. So to do that affects the church traffic somewhat, and then this neighborhood back there some. So that's the big one. That's the one that potentially could be controversial for this group. So before we move to my next possible thing that we're going to do out there, let's talk a little bit about this. Thoughts on?
Can you explain the white part again? That would be
gone.
closed off?
Yeah, that would be gone.
Nobody goes anywhere right
That
there.
connection would be gone.
Like it's like literally.
Tore out. There would not be anything here, no road.
Yes.
So if you're coming down if you're coming from Grand Canal, say I live down on South Country Club, 7900 block, and you're coming down Grand Canal, and then you're going to cross 277, so you wouldn't be able to do that anymore?
Yes.
No,
You'd still be able to do that.
You're still coming up here.
Yeah, Grand
Okay,
Canal
so
is
that's-
this one, so that's the one that would be back to
That's
the
The trouble is, if you're coming from the base and you're taking the overpass, you can't get down to Grand Canal, you can't get down to Country Club Road without coming past the church, cutting that way along the school, and then cutting over again through a residential area. And you've got semi-trucks at whatever the, right there off of, is it Templin Road?
Yes, ma'am.
That's back there. So what are you gonna do with the semi-trucks
semi-trucks that are going where?
that are going?
Templin's back here.
Yeah, they're going in down there.
No, but this is not gonna affect, that's not gonna affect them.
Yeah.
That's just.
If
this
you're
little
coming from
section right
here, how do you get to here without going that way?
You would have to do that. You would have to
Yeah,
And
but
that's
Mary,
why-
most people, most drivers that have driven this any time at all, they exit right here and they come to right here. Anybody that's a native of San Angelo does that.
I do
Yellow
that
is a
too.
ramp.
But what I am saying,
Yeah.
if you're coming from Goodfellow,
But a truck normally doesn't.
You
come.
take the ramp, you take the ramp right up there.
277 and
It'll
You
come
go
down.
277 and then turn it right down
Yeah.
on Grand Canal.
Yeah.
You're still gonna be able to do
The
it.
ramp
This,
is
all this,
after.
yeah, this is
You
just.
can still get there, but it eliminates the stop sign.
Yes.
It just eliminates the stop sign.
Okay.
Well, and this stop sign, to interrupt just for a second, because I live out here and I deal with this every day. The biggest problem with this area right here is you drive up here and you stop right here and you look in your mirror. Your mirror can't shoot all the way over to here, to this road. You don't see them over there. And so, and I've had this happen numerous times to me over and over. There's somebody that's coming on the off ramp here, 65, and they're coming around this corner real quick, and you don't see them, and they pulled out right in front of you. That's what the idea, when they brought this to me, I was like, I really like this idea, because that really solves the problem of this person pulling out in front of them.
Or like.
And they're going real slow too, because they've got to stop at this stoplight. So they're just inching out, but they go right out in front of you. In the broadside,
oh yeah,
we see broadside accidents almost happen. I see them multiple times a week, just almost happen.
oh yeah, I see them too.
People don't always stop at that stop sign either.
Yeah.
Because today I'm coming down Grand Canal
Okay.
and somebody just comes out like they don't even, I mean, they slow down a little bit on that little white part and just make a right anyway without
Yeah,
stopping.
they just go straight in.
Or in the morning when it's.
They're looking back at you, see you far enough back there, and they try to beat you is what they do.
Or when the traffic's lined up to your house.
Yes,
You got people trying to
Would
get
this
out.
proposal have any problem with in the future when a light is put there? Wouldn't it be better for this proposal to be there and then later we try to get a light at that intersection?
Yeah, I think
It wouldn't
configuration
hurt.
would be better to do this before we do the signal.
Because then you wouldn't have 5 things coming into that intersection.
Well, this intersection
You would
never was
narrow it
supposed to
down
have
to
five.
five.
Excellent point.
Sign.
I have a question. Is that Country Club Road there? Show me Country Club Road.
This.
Okay, that's where I come out every day and take a right. So how
Yeah, you
would
take a
I-
right and then
yes,
you go across.
Yes, but
So what-
to go to Wall. So now how would I go to Wall?
Go
the back way.
Which road do you live on?
I live on Winter Circle.
Okay, Winter Circle, you'll go out, you'll go to the left just a little bit, you'll come down by the storage buildings, which are right here, and then you'll come out,
Or just
go to
go
the
out
exit.
the
No,
other
all
way.
you have to do is just go get
Yeah, do it
Or
right.
go around Grand Canal.
Stop
You're
sign
still in front of the
back
Country
to
Club
10,
of Grand
12 cars
Canal.
at a time.
just go down?
Well, there'd be a way, if we went up Country Club Road and took a left, is there a way
Yeah.
for us to get on the ramp?
I'm not as familiar with the neighborhood.
Does that make
so
sense?
It's easier to just go
Well, I mean, it
out
would be
this
hard,
way
because
instead
you're
this way,
coming
and
down
go
here and you'd have to
out.
take a
Yeah.
hard turn getting back
Oh, I
on.
see what you're talking about.
So it'd be better to go
She lives
behind
right
the
in,
store.
they live right here,
Yeah.
right here, and they come out on this road.
We're down and
Well,
that way by the.
Yeah, go out the other.
Okay, and if I didn't want to go that way, because I don't go that way, I avoid that all the time, I go this way. So if I went left, could I get on the ramp?
No.
We're not gonna put anything there that prohibits that. I'm not gonna recommend that you go up there and do the turn that you're talking about
To
here.
get, okay, so
Tie
there won't be like one of those circles. Okay, and then if my husband who goes to ASU, he also takes a left, now he'll be yielding to a bunch of people getting on the
He
ramp.
just goes down Ben Ficklin and gets on.
Oh, yeah, you're right, okay,
It'd be a lot easier if you're going back that way, just to go
Yeah.
the Ben Ficklin way.
okay.
Which a lot
But
of
this
people
is
do
gonna affect
Ben
people that are
Ficklin
going to
anyway,
Wall.
avoid
It
that.
will affect people in that one neighborhood.
Right,
yes.
I'll tell you how, I take a left and I go down to the stores, I go over the bridge, I go on the axis this
You'll
way.
still be able to do that.
Fairview,
You'll
and
still
then
be
I
able-
cross over, but will I be yielding to a bunch of traffic getting on the ramp?
Well, you know there's not a bunch of traffic there, because there's just not that much traffic.
Well, it depends.
The count we
7:35.
got on this was about 700 vehicles a
About
day.
900, on the one day we counted, which is a admittedly shaky statistic, but we looked at it,
Does that make
and it was a
sense?
weekday.
Because I still.
That
After
actually
school
surprises
was
me, even
out.
that it would be that.
And we don't know how much actually, what the split is,
Yeah,
what
this
turns
is your
on
mom.
canal and what
Yeah.
goes on.
Yes,
But how
ma'am.
do you, I work at ASU, so I've got two choices. Okay, so I can come down Grand Canal and go up to that stop sign, and then I can look left, look at the people coming from me, coming from Wall, look at the people coming from Cristobal, and then do a quick left that way. You know, and then I'm safe, and then I'm up going towards, because Knickerbocker, with all the non-construction that's going on right now, so which way do you go? See, do I go down Knickerbocker?
We'll finish that pretty soon.
Okay. Sorry.
Don't bring that up.
Or, you know, I guess in my mind, the way I go, it's just you got so many, you're right there and you're going, okay, they're coming here, they're coming this way, they're coming from Cristobal. It's like, oh, what do I, you know, how do you resolve that?
You
Well,
know,
this makes it nicer because you're eliminating one of the side choices, one of the side.
So you're not hung out in the middle, like I shoot
No,
across.
you can still be hung out.
Yeah,
there.
that's still
Okay.
happening.
Yeah. That's the other
Could you
part.
move on to your next proposal?
For you.
Almost.
Because we can't all travel our routes, we can't spend time doing this. I'd like to see what you have proposed, because this is a multi-population. We've lived here 47 years, and the families lived here over 70. And all these houses and all these neighbors, everybody's as polite as they can be on that intersection to allow people to come in. Y'all put your markers out on the road after school was out, so you did not get the mothers taking the kids to Wall, you did not get the teenagers driving to Wall. You might have gotten the business traffic coming.
So you're not liking this proposal is what you're saying?
I am liking it, but I'm
Okay.
thinking it's just the first part of what needs to be done, because did anybody from the highway department, I've called them 3 times, did anybody come out at 7:30 in the morning to watch the school traffic and the business traffic, or did anybody come out at 5 to watch it?
You
To
know, I
sit
don't-
there
I don't
and
know exactly-
actually watch it?
I don't know exactly what time we did, but, I mean, what would we have seen? What would we change?
You would have seen the congestion of everything and the
Big.
There
near.
is sometimes
I understand that, and we
15
know that
cars
this is
at
not a
that
good
stop sign.
intersection. We
We
really
know that.
understand it's
In the
not a good
morning.
intersection.
But it's the 65 mile an hour coming in from Cristobal all the way.
Well, he's
into
gonna talk about that in a minute, though.
That's what I want.
another part of
We'll,
this proposal.
we'll get to that one before you guys tar and feather me.
Sir, I have a question on that one just prior, where the new ramp, proposed new ramp is coming in,
Yes.
and with the real heavy, fast traffic coming on to 27 from the loop and all. If you were, 277, excuse me. This new ramp, as far as yielding to the others that's trying to get to Canal Road.
That's correct.
There would be two, as long as there was a yield there that would,
It's
you
gonna be
know-
a merge situation just like you have
Okay.
on the loop.
Okay.
The ramp typically yields for the primary
okay.
traffic.
But there are 3 lanes right there, remember? There are 3, so it is a possibility that it can work pretty good.
Let's jump to the next one. So speed limit, we talked about speed limit. So this shows what we've got right now. Let me reorient myself. So here's the intersection that we're talking about. So, and you can see the legend down here. The green is currently 60 miles an hour 5. So everybody kind of understand where we're at?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm proposing to do is the green would now drop to 55, and then we wouldn't go back up to 60 until, and somebody help me with kind of, what's the
Past Mueller.
landmark out here?
Yeah.
Right.
West Texas.
Or not West Texas Steel.
West Texas.
West Texas Steel.
Timberland Road is right in there.
Timberland
So
Road,
it's
yeah.
past
A little
Timberland.
further to the right.
This is Templin right here. It's, it's a little before Templin.
So a reduction in speed,
So I would
basically.
take it out, so make it further back. Can we take it past
Well,
Templin?
it would help us getting out from our place on this side, turning out on the highway or
Because
turning in.
Well, Templin
because
is the second.
Templin has a
one.
hard time turning left. If the speed was farther past Templin, it would help them
A little further.
get down.
Because there's a whole lot of people down there. We're the big piece right there, we're
Looks like
87.
gonna hurt anybody.
He lives right here,
Yeah, that's our
right
house.
there.
And turning out right there.
He's the closest house to the
Turning in and
intersection.
out is.
So he sees all the wrecks, they see all the wrecks and hear all the wrecks.
And been there since 85.
You know, where we stopped at, it's gonna be real hard. There's always gonna be a, can you bring it a little bit further? We did speed studies out there, and without boring you to death with engineering traffic stuff, the way we establish the minimum speed that we can set is we do a study on what people are currently driving, and we do a statistical analysis, and we come up with the 85th percentile. And all that means is that 15% of the people are driving faster than that. But we come back down, and it's a common, across the whole country, everybody uses that, thinking that that 85th percentile person is the reasonable person that's gonna drive a reasonable speed for what's out there. So when we did this,
Speed doesn't necessarily have anything to do with coastal speed.
Yeah, but I mean,
No, in fact, most of the time it doesn't have.
Because of roadway configuration.
yeah, lots of
Right.
studies across the country have said you can put up any speed limit sign that you want to out there, and unless you've got somebody with a ticket book and a gun out there, it's not gonna affect it. And we're not gonna be able to have somebody out there all the time. So in order to use that reasonable way of setting speeds, that's how we came up with the limits that.
Well, the only reason that we're bringing that up is because a lot of us use Templin as an alternate route to not have to play leapfrog in the middle of that intersection. So, you know, when we're all going down Templin and not have to go through there, then it's just, you know, it's just as fast. So that's the only reason we're bringing it, going past, right past.
Yeah, the only reason I was saying that is because if you go a quarter mile past where the green and orange starts,
Yeah, it goes from
then
here to-
there's no
There's
more
nothing.
businesses.
There's none.
That's fields in, that's the only reason I was saying,
Yeah.
could you
Yeah,
extend
makes
it past
sense.
Timberland?
There's no
Because
residential.
it's less than a quarter mile.
Yeah, you still have a bunch of residential, well, you have 2 streets down here that are all residential right here.
Right.
And then, these are businesses all in front of them, and they stop.
Let me go back and look at that.
Yes.
I didn't look at that closely enough, and I can't say that it was scientific right where we stopped it. And there's a good possibility we can
Tracy,
tweak
in the
that.
last year, I had a citizen who works out at one of those businesses who was an advocate for reducing the speed. I don't see him here tonight, so on his behalf, I'd say they probably would be advocates for speed slower than those and to push the speed out.
Yeah, the speed slower than that's hard because of what I just, that 85th
Right.
percentile.
That's what, we went through that.
Well,
When
yeah,
he
we
made
met
his-
with you, and this wasn't even the 85th percentile,
Well,
was
you
it?
guys
This was
do-
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I've also got the latitude to, if the safety factors, if the crash history, or if the concentration of driveways, I can deviate a little bit beyond what I just said, that 85th percentile, and we actually used that deviation, the maximum that I can deviate down to get it to this.
Well, also, when you're coming from Cristobal this way, at that point, coming in is a 1 lane for, and people trying to turn into the businesses there, and the people coming out, it's 2 lane, it quits somewhere, well,
It
2
quits
lane
up
all the
here,
way out.
it's way
Yeah,
out
But
here.
it's the left-hand turn that makes it hard to get in, I
For
mean,
neighbors and Express Energy, and I've seen
we're trying to get to the
many
mailbox
people
even, trying to go
rear
that
end
way.
people.
Because it's just the 1 lane and you're
Which,
still at the high speed, so
That's
another.
driver error, a lot of that.
Yeah.
But
We looked at a lot of stuff, up to
Yes.
including like
Sure.
the big $30+ million solution, which I'd like to do that. But we had to find some kind of low-hanging fruit to try to do some
Well,
improvement. of
and the
safety.
main thing is the Grand Canal intersection, because
What I'd
Tracy,
like
are you
to-
talking about doing both proposals?
I'm talking about doing both proposals. Based on what we hear here, my plan was to execute both of these proposals. But if there was a, an overwhelming rejection of this idea, we'd back up and we'd relook at it.
I'm sorry if I sounded gruff a while ago, but I just wanted to get you to move on to this so we know how it works together.
Yeah, I
But
understand
as
that.
they come off of the loop, they'll be coming south off of the loop. What would that speed be?
55.
55 also.
They're gonna have to go from 60 to 55.
I mean, yeah, from the west, coming up from
From 65
The loop's
to
currently
55.
65.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll actually do a speed zone here, drop it to 55, and then not raise it until
Okay.
orange.
Okay.
Could you do a blinking light too, or
Blinking lights have
probably not gonna?
very little effect. Most of the accidents here have been driver error. I know it's a tricky intersection, but when we go back and we analyze them, somebody did something they probably shouldn't have done. The flashing light, it might make people feel good that we put it out there, but it costs money to do it and it costs money to maintain it, and I don't think at this point that's what we want to do. I'd like to try these two things and then let's analyze it. You guys give me input back after we do that, and we'll consider other stuff. But I hate to just spend money just to be spending money out there. I'd like to do stuff that really is effective.
The island really affects it more than anything.
Yes,
And we all know that live here that you get out there and you're stuck out there.
Well, and then
And then you get somebody that's an inexperienced driver that'll pull up right next to you and you get two. That happens all the time. I saw it just 2 days ago where you get two people stuck in the alley. Well, the inner person, which was there first, can't even see the traffic coming from Cristobal because the other cars pulled up right next to them to get out of the way of the
It's
people
mainly
coming
the
from town.
buses and trucks that get stuck.
Yeah, and we saw that 2 days ago too, a short bus from Wall get stuck in the middle. Well, we don't want a bus to get stuck out in the middle and get rear-ended somehow or sideswiped.
Yeah, the other day I had one, and in the center, and she comes out, instead of pulling beside me, she's still sitting here.
So she's all the way out in traffic for.
Still in the lane
Yeah.
of traffic, and I'm like, oh, please, I'm
But see,
not
there's
pulling
nothing that
out
they-
because there's cars coming.
TxDot can't do anything about stupidity.
Exactly.
For the record, Councilman, you said that, and I didn't.
Yes, I did. And I don't have a problem, I don't have a problem saying it.
That, like if I'm going out to Wall or we're going to Austin or anything that way, I go straight across and then take that little thing that puts me up on the highway.
I think a lot of people do that. I think
Is that
even-
still gonna be there?
Yeah, you still have the ability to do that.
Okay, I mean, if you get across, you're safe doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
So Tracy, I was gonna ask you, that may not be y'all's, but can you improve that little, the same spot she's talking about? Because when I come back from Wall or from that direction, I don't go around that way.
Nobody does.
As a
Now,
matter
your
of fact,
GPS will take you that way.
Yes.
But people that
But
live here,
the
it's
people that
way
live
out
here
the way.
don't.
dude.
So can that be improved a little bit?
I've looked at that much, and it really, I didn't even realize that people were doing that until we started studying this, and then I realized that people were, and I think even Siri on my iPhone took me that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and
think
There's
about-
light
you
there.
bottom out there, like at our motorhome, when you exit coming back home to go down
Because it's such a
Canal
big-
Road,
Yeah.
and you exit off the highway, you bottom out there.
Yeah,
Yes.
y'all put a new,
I
will
y'all
take
put
a
a new
look.
light up there
I will
recently.
take a look
Yeah,
at the geometry
illuminate.
of that turn.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
What are our chances of getting a stoplight at that intersection?
We've talked about that too. The problem with putting a stoplight there is we're going to trade the accidents we have for crashing behind crashes. And so, again, I'd like to try this stuff before we would go to that extreme.
Well, I know, like when you go to Lubbock, way out in the country, you stop at a light.
They put a bridge there now, though, I think,
Oh,
if it's the
well, I
same
haven't
place
been
that
there
you're.
in a while.
Yeah.
Since I set my money there.
So how long would this take to implement?
That's a good question. The plans are pretty easy. My guys are swamped. We've been blessed with additional money to do some projects in the 15 counties, and so I've got the guys working really hard on other stuff. This, I can probably pull them off of something and try to get it done quick, but it's not going to happen next week. The way we contract things is fairly slow if anybody's worked with state bureaucracy, so.
At least he's honest.
When I talked to Councilman Fleming, I said I'm pretty sure we can do it within a year. I think I could have this, and the speed I'm going to do quicker. The speed, I've already started the process, and I may have to go tweak the limits, and so we may have to start over again. Speed limits you'll see fairly quick, within I'd say a couple of months. I hate to say because as soon as I do, there'll be some problem, but soon on a speed limit. The new pavement, the ramp and stuff, I'd like to say a year from now that it's like that, and maybe quicker. I'd like to beat that. Yes, ma'am.
Can we see the ramp slide again?
Is everybody pretty much in favor of this? Because when I saw this and they brought it to me, I thought it was a win-win situation for us, just the starting.
Just
And
getting
the whole thing is, we gotta all realize it's a money thing more than anything.
Sure.
Because he would love to do it, and I would love to do the best thing, which would be a overpass of some sort. But we don't have the money, and if they don't have the money, I would rather see a small project and to get some of that money. He's willing to tie up some of this money and do this for us to move forward.
And I've not given up on the big solution. I actually, you know, we've got a study for a relief route that's been done, and part of it's actually been built. Loop 306 has been built, and at some point we're going to get around to the point where we tie to this, and we'll do something bigger and more dramatic there. But again, it's a big chunk of money, so
I just have a little question.
okay.
Okay, so the ramp is a good thing.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So, is there enough of an angle where this comes and this is going this way? You still have to hit this intersection. Is there not a way to make a loop-dee? Make a loop-dee?
No, you don't want them
You'd
crossing.
be cutting right across
You don't
from
want
off-ramp
them
traffic.
cross
There's
traffic.
3 lanes of traffic there, so.
Yeah, that's one.
The way
I'm
that's
saying this
situated,
way.
Jack, is
This come this
it's
way.
But
we're
the merge distance even to get down to here was, we did it by the design manual, and it was really tight. If this would have been here, I couldn't have even done this because you couldn't
See,
have got
there's not enough room.
Jack,
That's what I'm asking.
our place is down here to the right.
Dude, I know that. I'm just talking. I'm just talking about if there's enough of an angle to make, you know how they do the underpass thing is such a sharp, if.
But you're cutting across 60-mile-an-hour traffic.
To do that,
Where's the
effectively, over some.
This is the off ramp going at 55, this is going into town this way.
I don't want to cut across 3 lanes of traffic at 55.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard even at 55.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be.
But right now it's 60.
It's hard enough in front of the.
I think this is the best.
I like that. I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
if you're coming from the loop.
That's not too much, that's good.
But this is going to affect at least 2 neighborhoods. At least 2 neighborhoods. And so people are gonna have to find alternate routes that are gonna be.
Yeah, but you're just talking about.
You know, Rodney, I don't
one
think it
thing.
affects it that much. I mean,
I don't either, and I'm
we're
hoping,
used to going that way, so you just get used to going the other.
and I'm hoping that's true. I just want, I want this. I want this to be done, but I have to have this meeting.
And I would say that 80% of us with young kids, they're
Not allowed to go that way.
not allowed to go that way.
Yeah.
We're on the other side, unfortunately, but you guys that are on this side
When
of
you shoot across.
it, you're making them go around.
I think we'll go around.
I know a ton of people that completely go a different route just to avoid that.
Well, we send our kids,
It
we have a
takes
16-year-old got his license 4
Yeah,
weeks
you
ago,
just
and he is not allowed to. He goes to Temple. He goes to Temple, yes.
How do y'all cross over to city center?
Yeah, but
And then
from
he
Temple, but instead of going out to the island.
It's the island that's.
Yeah.
It's an island. We live right here, he comes out to Temple right there.
And he takes a left with
Instead of
all
going
those
across
people
this.
coming fast.
But it's better than being
Better
stuck
than
in the
that,
middle.
Zoom out, you can see.
Well, we have kids in 6th grade. My daughter just turned 16. We go all the way around and go over the bridge down there.
When Matthew was driving to football practice, that's the way we made Matthew drive to football practice, was go over go the backwards way of going to
Towards
El
Fairview
Dorado.
Road.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
But
we do.
because that yield sign in the middle is confusing and nobody abides by it.
By the antique shops?
No, in the middle.
No, she's talking about this right here.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I know.
That's the worst, that would be a stop sign, that would be bad.
Yeah. No, I think that way's still better than that way,
She has a
but
question right there.
we go over the.
Have you, or is there a way to get, when you're out there right in the middle, come off Green Canal, right there? Is there a way to get more room? I mean, because right there you're saying,
If you're pulling a trailer, you're in there, but you're trailing in the
Yeah, that'd be a big project. I mean, this is achievable within this year that I'm talking about, to actually realign both one or both of those roads enough to get more storage there would be a big, more expensive.
And this is government land right here. This is hard, this is not Texas land. This is federal land right here where the canal is. And so you're not going into that. You're not using any of that. You can't because the canal is there.
It's just if you're pulling a boat or something, you're in there waiting to turn left or go straight.
You need to try to go down Templin. It's just easy.
Yeah.
No, I sit there for 10 minutes if I need to, and then I pull my horse trailer out, you know?
That's
But that's what we were saying is, so on the news, when they did the study, there was literally a bus stuck in the middle and the cars are honking at them. And it's like, where do you expect it to go?
Yeah.
And why do you need to be in that big of a
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've told our kids. If somebody honks at you, it doesn't matter.
Well,
You just sit there and you take your own sweet time and make sure you're comfortable going across there. Because it is fast. And his idea of lowering it, because right now it's 65, but it really is 75.
Yeah.
So it's gonna go from 75 more likely down to
Yeah, because then we
65.
have to come out.
It's a nice,
and
good,
get
smooth road,
going
it's just
to
easy to
65.
fly right through there.
Yeah.
When we do the speed limit, I'll get VPS out here for a little while. I can't promise they're gonna be out there for a long time, but we'll.
Which is
See
like
them
Grand Canal's
more. They need
45
to
and
be
people
there
go like
about
60.
Yeah.
And I mean,
But he's been getting people on
I
Grand
know,
Canal.
you know,
Yeah,
it's time and money, I understand that. You can't have enough people to get all the spots that people abuse things.
Exactly.
Well, and it's the same people, so you're hoping you get a couple of them and then you stop it for a little while.
Not,
Can I kind of go off the subject, but not really? Did you say that there was a flashing light put at the place that's got the propane tanks down there where you've got the big
No.
ship?
No,
It's-
there's
Overhead
a,
illumination, not that.
Yes.
they put a new pole there.
Okay, but would you go out and put some stakes there at the end of where the,
Rodnacks
Pothole is-
cut off.
where, no, not where the pothole is, but where the drainage
bar
is, the
ditch,
culvert
the bar
is?
ditch.
Because you can't see the culvert if you're coming off of there at night.
Well, I think the illumination helped out a lot.
Yeah.
I don't, have you been there at night in a while? They put
No.
it in, how many months ago did they put it in, 2 or 3?
Oh, we've been there in more recent.
No, it's been a month, like less than a month.
Month and a half maybe.
Yeah,
No.
I noticed it when it helped out a whole lot because you know when you go down that, we all know it's a big drop.
Yeah.
That lighting it up at night with that new light, new light sets up on the top there. And it does light it up
Okay.
way better.
But I do know what you're talking about, and I already told somebody that we'll take a look at the geometry of that and
Yeah.
see if there's.
I mean, all you have to do is just put, I've been tempted to go and buy a $2.50 reflector just to put it out there, just to mark, you know what, this is the edge of the culvert, because especially this summer, yeah, I know you didn't have the mowers and everything else, but you couldn't see the culvert for the grass,
I will look at it,
you know?
no promise.
I've been meaning to go take pictures of it.
If you go out and stick your reflector out there, I will not prosecute you. But
You will
And we'll
see
take
it.
you.
but I will
Yes.
I will take a look at the geometry of that.
I will go get some.
Is that pretty much what you had so far? I mean, this is what you and I.
Yes, this is it, that's all.
Is it, so is everybody, it sounds like to me everybody's pretty much in favor of these first beginning steps. Again, we're trying to do something instead of nothing. We've been here 10 years, nothing's been done. So if we can do these little tiny steps, hopefully in the future, we can get to bigger steps.
Well, I think alleviating that turn right there is gonna help a lot.
I think it's really,
Yeah.
I think the turn is really big because even in the morning when you were saying 15 cars being there, well, the 15 cars are there and then you've got to try to let these cars in. There's 4 cars there
Yeah, 'cause it's
trying to
really
go
hard to
out
let them get
and then
in.
somebody's coming 65 off and
Around
right,
the corner, yeah.
you know, and it's just a nightmare.
And if they could push that lower speed limit a little bit more past Templin, I think that would really.
He said he would look at that and I really, if it'd go just another 200 yards.
That way all of a sudden,
John, let me remember.
and you're like,
Yeah.
what do y'all
John,
think?
that's the last neighborhood for the city of San Angelo. Right there, there's 2 streets down there at the end of that area, so that, I think getting past there would help us out a lot.
We will look at that, we're gonna look at the geometry of the turn.
Rodnacks, yeah.
Y'all need to remember miles, it's 45 going through miles and nobody goes 45.
You know, and that's like a poster child for why you don't do just an artificial speed limit out there, because when you drive through there, that doesn't feel right. People don't,
55 is what you
you know, I got a ticket there last year going 49.
When they sit there, they're very strict.
Yeah.
You heard me say that for 3.5 years, I did not do that. I didn't put that speed limit out.
It's 4 lanes and it's 45. 75 miles an hour
Taking
for
it-
about 15 feet.
Taking it out would be a political mess, and so
I understand, but I
I'm
was
not
pretty
tackling
close
that.
to
Well, they had one death there, and then that's what started that. And how many deaths have we had at the end of Grand Canal Road?
And it was not the right thing to do then, and it wouldn't be the right thing to.
No, I don't
to-
think so
To
either.
deviate
I'm
from
just saying
the
if
standard to do
yeah.
that here.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Well, so everybody can, I know everybody has plans and get home to their families and things like this, but this was a short meeting. Really, I just wanted him to see, and he wanted to see kind of what public, because if public outcry came out and said, do not close off that area right there, because that's going to be somewhat controversial there, and it's going to be close. It's Shane and that. Well, you guys are going to just tear it all out. I mean, we dig it out. There ain't going to be a road.
We in
Is this
Trinity
happening, or
Park
is it gonna be
aren't
voted
gonna
on?
like that because
No.
we're not,
It's happening.
it's gonna be an inconvenience for us, but there's no good way to do it.
No, there's not.
We just couldn't find anything else. This is the best thing we could find.
And when you have a five-way intersection, you know, like the city, we just went through this. Well, we've done it actually recently in the last year. We've done it twice. We've done one by my office at Beauregard and all that area right in there. They closed it off, and man, it's made a huge difference on how much better it is.
Yeah,
And then we
it's
just last week we closed off down there by the new Walmart, the five-way intersection right there. Intersections are not made to be five-way. I mean, just by nature of design, they should only be four-way. It just makes it complicated.
And just to give you guys, maybe y'all will be happy with this if I tell you one other thing that I looked at there. And I told my staff I wasn't going to, but I'm going to anyway. If you've ever heard of a traffic circle, I honestly considered that there. And if you guys don't like this, that may be what you get. So.
Can we get an Arc de Triomphe in the middle of it?
Right.
Get an Arc de Triomphe in the middle of it?
Yes.
Okay, this is in another little area, but I didn't know if it would help the flow of traffic towards Country Club Road. If where you get off of the loop going east, and you get off on Ben Ficklin exit. You go down, take a right, you're going towards Country Club Road that way, right? If you put Ben Ficklin Country Club Road, some of Country Club Road traffic would go before it even gets to 277.
Oh, you're talking about changing the sign?
Change the sign.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know, I'm just saying that.
that'd be for people who don't live there and don't know.
It's just not very many people. And that's just like most of us know, if you're going to Cristobal and you're coming from Wall, you're not going to go the way the signs all tell you to go on the overpass.
Go around.
You're not going to do that because it takes you, literally takes you a mile out the way.
Yeah.
And is Ben Ficklin gonna be repaved at some time? There's so
This is
many,
my favorite part.
there's so many.
Not your job. Not your job.
That is not state maintained. So I don't know the answer.
You know, and going Ben Ficklin sometimes is a good alternative. Go in front of the country club and down Ben Ficklin, under 306.
Yeah.
But then you reach that low water crossing, and it's only one car at a time can get through there.
It's not that much traffic.
Hey, while y'all are here, one thing that I'll tell you, and since Shane is here and I want him to say something, one thing at least, is that we got lucky on the construction bid on the topping the roads in the city, and this area back in here was not scheduled for this year to be resurfaced, right?
Yeah, seal coat, the seal coat process, and you can see right here on Country Club what we're doing right here in the area neighborhoods. We're going to catch Grand Canal, the city's portion of it, not the county's portion of it, because it does break off, oddly enough, for whatever reason, when we annexed, we left a little piece for the county. But we will be catching all the city's part of that, and working that way. Some of the neighborhoods here, we will be getting Ben Ficklin right here in front, well, right here behind the country club, going on Ben Ficklin on around down to Loop 306, and then across Loop 306 as far as we can. We had some, when we were ordering rock, we ordered a little extra, and so we're able to do this.
Before they seal coat that part of Ben Ficklin, are they going to fix it?
No, there's not a whole lot we can actually fix as far as trying to get it really smooth. Now we'll come in there and we're gonna catch like pothole patching if there's any holes or big things that we can catch, we can. But as far as really trying to get it smooth, that's a major undertaking to try to come in there and do any level up work prior to seal coat. Had I known we were going to have this much extra rock and material here to do this, we would have tried to get in there and get that done prior to, but we feel it's better
It'll
to
help.
save what we have.
It will help.
Save what we have instead of letting it get to the point that we end up with another Bell Street, so.
And how
Right,
far
yeah.
down Country Club, are y'all going the rest of the way in South Concho? Or
We're not gonna go all the way to South Concho, we'll stop at Los Lomos right there, right as you get to the river.
But it was a lot, this was all unscheduled. We weren't supposed to get any of that this year. We're not in the rotation for this year, and I don't even know if we were in the rotation for next year yet, were we? Or did these neighborhoods just fall in the right size?
All of this fell in the right size to handle all the rock that
That's
we're
what I
doing now, so, but, actually, any little bit helps and it catches us up on our cycle, so
Yeah.
hopefully our cycle will be able to move through our cycle rotation a lot faster now.
And you know, us as a council, we really made a concerted effort to do the rotation, I believe, every 8 years now is what we're looking at now. And Shane has really, he's worked really hard on this, and that's a big deal because of the amount of money that we have and what we can and cannot do as far as fixing roads. So if we can just hit every road every 8 years, it helps us out to make these roads last. And in the past, we have not done that. We have not done that. So I think in the future, we've got a plan going forward, which is, I think is a good plan if we can maintain it and we can keep the money. The money is always the problem.
The money's the problem, and right now we have a strong commitment from council to keep those funds going, because, you know, we do have an 8-year rotation now. Prior to 2 years ago, my rotation was once every 24 years. So,
That's right.
Just to let you know how much council.
And the council that's in place now, and I'm one of 7, you know, our commitment is on this is we're tired of kicking the can down the road, and somebody got to pay for it sooner or later. So that's why we didn't lower taxes the last meeting, and we're not going to lower. Well, I don't think they're going to lower taxes. I'm out of here in May, so I will never have to go through another budget again. I don't think.
You're not running again?
I will not. I will never run again.
Move on.
One last question, and this is more in town. Have you figured out what you're going to do at Houston Hart and 6th or 7th with the intersection there, with everybody going through that green light?
You talking about if you're on 87 going underneath Houston Hart?
Yeah.
Going north on Bryant, yeah.
Yeah.
From the MPO, the city standpoint, and TxDot, and from our Metropolitan Planning Organization, we've created a new task force with that group to start looking at specific issues like those to try to address them. I've had my guys go in there, and we've actually, instead of the vertical center pole and lighting in the center pole, we've actually turned them horizontal now, so they are more visible higher. So if you in a car and you pull up behind a big pickup, you're able to see the light now instead of down, so hopefully that will help. One of the biggest issues that we really have there and what we've identified that's causing that, as you know, the railroad comes through right there as well, so your stop bar is pushed back farther from the light than it normally would be. And so what we're having is as people are coming in on the turning motion, and that's actually, the turning motion is actually going across that green, is not our highest cause of accidents right there. It's our second highest causes of accidents right there. But as you're turning, because you're so far back, it actually takes you almost an additional second to make that. Well, people are misjudging the speeds of the people coming into them, and that extra second it normally takes is the reason we're starting to see more crashes there. The number one cause is people that are on 7th Street turning left, heading on South Bryant right there on 8th Street. That's our number one set of crashes, and that's and a lot of that's they're not yielding, and people are driving into each other because they're not staying in their lanes as they're turning. It's a double left. That's our number one cause of accidents at that location.
Because I thought, why not just change the signage for the green turn light, for the left turn light to, this is the left turn green like you've got at Bryan and Jackson. Left turn on green only.
Left turn on for right. I mean, an arrow on
Yes,
arrow only.
yeah.
We've looked at that.
Or is there not enough room for the traffic?
The queuing distance is our biggest problem there. We would actually end up, if we do that, we're going to add an extra, and I don't have my traffic superintendent with. We run all of this in our synchronization program, and he can tell you exactly how many extra seconds that adds, but I'm believing, it seems to think it's almost 60 seconds. John, does that sound
That
right?
sounds right from our conversation last week.
Yeah.
Back
that-
up traffic all the way to their intersection.
Yeah, we would actually start backing traffic up past Starbucks if we did that.
Well, sometimes it backs up that far now.
Yeah, and so,
It does.
and so we would actually, during heavy traffic times, we would actually back traffic up. And any time you start, especially start adding 60 seconds, that is, for somebody sitting in a stoplight, that's forever. The mayor chews on me on a regular basis about 29th and Bryant, says it only changes once every 5 days or something. You know, and that's only a 180-second light. So could you imagine adding another 60 seconds to that one? So.
Well, the other thing about backing traffic up that far is you're getting close to the fire station.
I got one last question, Jason.
Not to get away from all this, but are we for this?
Yeah. Anything's better than what we got now.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying.
It's a
You
step
know,
in the
that's the
right
way I look at it,
step
it's
in the
common
right
sense, just, it's little steps, but they're giving us something.
Yeah. It's
And
better
they
than what
haven't,
we
nobody's
got.
given us anything up to this point.
If we can go a year with nobody dying, then,
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
I mean,
And it's on the radar now, so now, you know, I think it will probably be years before anything else will be done, but I think you ask for it now, why he does have some kind of budget, because next year he may not have any budget to do anything.
I'm moving as fast as I can. I've seen enough here that you guys are supporting it, so John, let's get it going.
Thanks, everybody, for the turnout tonight. I'm glad that some people did come. If you have any questions, you can always just call me.